My name is Angela,
And my name is Nicole.
and welcome to the Ominous Stitch podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Alpine Stitch.
Alpine Stitch.
First of all, you're going to notice that, yes, this is backwards.
Yep.
Oh, there's
Get
my
the hook.
J-hook.
J-hook. That's
Yeah.
what I use for everything.
Yes, I know. That's the only hook you had forever.
Yes.
So you're going to use, you're going to chain 30 plus 1 if you want to make an 8x8 square, which is what I was making at the time when I was doing this.
So if you want to do more than 8x8, you just keep going.
Yeah, you can just keep going. You can make your project as big as you want, but
Okay.
this is going to turn into about 8 inches long using the J-hook and using the Red Heart acrylic yarn. Woo-hoo! So,
Look how fast.
oh,
Angela, you're so fast.
I don't know. I was trying to hurry because like 30 is a long time. Oh, and remember when we were making this video, we had to start over because I couldn't count. I was so nervous making this. I chained, what, 19?
It was a little less, yeah.
I chained 19, and then I was like, 30. And then she's like, nope, 20.
Yes.
And so we had to start over again.
That's okay.
Okay, so you chain 30 plus 1, and then you're going to insert your hook into the second chain off the hook. So when I do
You just
this,
do a single one? Is that
just a single crochet, yeah. When I do this, I like to crochet into the back loops, which you will see me say in just a second. And I'm new to video editing, so you will see some kind of interesting cuts.
That's okay.
I promise we'll get better.
No, it's good. As long as we can see what you're doing, this is awesome. See that back
I
loops?
like to crochet in the back loops.
Okay.
Yay. It makes a neater edge. Then you get that V finish. And so when you go back to do your bordering and your edging, you have that nice V to crochet into.
Got it.
So that's why I like doing that. Or if you don't want to do any edging just because you're tired of the project and you are just like, I'm done, I don't want to do anything more to it, it still makes a really nice edge.
Okay. So it doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to, yes.
Let that go. So what are you doing right now?
So I'm single crocheting in all the back loops.
Every single one.
Every single one, all the way back to the start. So it's going to be 30 crochets because I started in the second loop. So I chained 31. That last extra one is your turning chain, and then you single crochet all the way back to the front.
Your single crochets are so tight. I love it.
Sometimes they're kind of tough to get into, as you can see. Like that first row for me, because my chain tends to be a little bit on the tighter side, it takes me a little bit longer. So a tip you can use, a lot of people will use a size up for the chain.
Interesting.
So that you have that bigger, because chains tend to be tight. So if you use a hook size up when you're doing your chain,
and then go back to the J hook,
then you go back to the J hook, then it's a little bit looser and easier for you to get your hook in. Yeah, little tip. Okay, it looks like, I'm getting close to the end. Also, what I started to say, but then I stopped earlier, is that, yes, this is backwards. Nicole and I are left-handed.
Get it, lefties.
So when you see our hands doing this, it will be ominous looking.
Isn't it crazy that to me, I mean, because when you're right, left to right, right?
Yeah.
So crocheting left-handed looks so normal. When I watch right-handed crocheters, it's so different. I mean, I know being left-handed, but it's going the opposite way.
It is going the opposite way. Yeah, this is left, right. And then when I'm reading a chart or looking at a pattern that's on a chart, I always have to look at, you're reading from right to left. And so I have to like flip it around in my head.
So it makes our brains awesome, though, right?
I think so. All right, looks like I reached the end. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. So that chain does count as your first double crochet. And you will see me right here, pulling a hair out of it.
Dog hair or Angela hair?
It looks like an Angela hair.
Or Nicole hair.
Or Nicole hair. We both have long hair.
We all have lots of hair.
So as I'm pointing out to you, that is your first double crochet.
Nice.
So you're going to skip that first double.
Okay.
That first stitch, and you're going to double crochet into the second stitch.
Second stitch. Okay.
Yep. And you get a double crochet in every stitch all the way back, so that's going to be 29 double crochets total.
There we go.
With one chain, so that equals your 30. Or one double chain at the end, that equals your 30. So here we go, double crochet, la 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 la, double crochet.
Go. And every single one, right?
Yes, double crochet in the top of every single one.
And you're going through the top, not just one back. You're going through
right,
two.
I'm going through both.
Got it.
Both of the loops on the stitch. Not the back or the front, but both of them. That single crochet row before.
I like the color.
Thank you. It's a nice, like, creamy white.
Although I'd probably, if this turned into a blanket, I'd probably get it really dirty. Terrible with white.
Yes. Me too.
Pets, kids.
Yes. White does not
White's
last
not
long
the greatest.
when you have a house full
But
of animals.
you can bleach it, right?
That's
the nice
true.
thing. You can use a lot more cleaner on this.
That's true. You absolutely can. And it's like a creamy white, so it doesn't have to be like a bright white.
That's true. I like the creamy. It's not gonna it can hide dirt a little more.
Yeah, and it looks really cozy.
It does. I like that.
Like it. It's a nice kind of wintry white. Mm-hmm. So I thought it would go well with the Alpine Stitch.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a nice wintry white. So the podcast that you can hear us talking about the stitch where I teach Nicole is our very first episode.
One with the view.
Yay! Where we're talking about the Black Forest.
Yes, that was fun.
That was an interesting podcast. We were so nervous to do it.
And just a fun tip, we recorded that I think 3 times.
We did. We recorded it 3 times.
Being very amateur at it, we couldn't figure out. We did. We figured it out, but with equipment and how
looks
we
like
talk.
I reached the end there. Okay, so you're gonna chain 1 and turn, and you're gonna single crochet in every stitch, including that first one. So that chain 1 is a turn. It doesn't count as your first stitch.
Okay.
So as I'm pointing
out,
out,
perfect. Good job, Angela.
Thank you.
You're doing a great tutorial in this. Okay, and then you just do a single stitch through both again.
Yes, single crochet all the way back.
Got it.
So again, the Black Forest. Yeah.
So that was super fun. I wish we got more knowledge about more actual, real life stories out of that. And I mean, we're just starting, so maybe some of you would like to send that in. But having all those crazy cryptids and the lake and
yes. Okay, so I have a story. We
Ooh.
were recently camping at a lake in the Sierra Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And my son was throwing big stones into the water.
No!
And I kept thinking about...
Yes, don't you throw those stones.
Yes, about the nymph and the mummelsay.
Yes. But I think little kids love throwing things into lakes, or just throwing things in general. So that would make sense. But maybe they'll be forgiven because they're a little kid, right?
They do. And I was like, the lake monster is going to come get you.
Yep.
Stop it.
Going to irritate the was it King Mummelsy?
Yes.
Don't you do that. But yeah, that was a fun, the Black Forest being so picturesque, though.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you guys can go to our social media, and we're going to post some pictures of the Black Forest so you can see how gorgeous it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly like...
chain 2 and turn.
Chain 2 and turn.
Yep.
So this is, again, this chain 2, that's going to count as your first stitch. As your first double crochet.
That's turning out.
Okay, so we're going to go back down to row 2 and pull up the first true double crochet. And we're going to do a front post double.
That's right, front post.
Yeah, so front post means you enter from the front, go around the stitch behind it, and then come back out through the front.
Set me up when we were first doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had the first 3 rows done for you, and then I had you start here.
This is what I remember.
Yes. So then you do a double crochet in the top of the next stitch on row 3. So you're going to do a double crochet in every other stitch on row 3, and you're going to do a front post double on every other stitch of row 2.
This was your pull baby. Don't put baby in the corner.
Don't put baby in the corner. That's right. So we picked up our first baby, and now we're setting her back down, and we're about to pick up our next baby. Don't put baby in the corner.
There you go.
Front post double around the next stitch. Here we we go. We picked it. She's up in the air.
Yes.
And now we're going to set her back down on the top of the next stitch of row 3. So you're working in row 2 or row 3 depending upon if you're doing a front post or just a regular double crochet. So you're going to alternate between front post double and regular to go all the way across.
Oh, so you're not only...
I'm trying to figure out where my hands need to be in the camera.
That's funny. So you're going that. Oh, and then back. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to pick baby up and set her back down.
Perfect.
Pick baby up. Here I am picking her up. And then you're going to set her back down in the top of the next row.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then that's going to be your row 4. That's what we're working on. So we're alternating between row 2 and row 3 with our double crochets. So front post double and then a regular double.
Fun. I like this, the alternating. This shakes everything up because I don't usually do any of the front. So except we're working on a chevron, which we'll get to eventually.
Yes. Oh, a little ball of yarn coming out.
There's a ball of yarn.
Oh no! I think we're gonna see it being pulled by my. Yep, there it goes.
That's me.
That's Nicole pulling it out of my way.
What were we saying? The ball.
The ball is in the shot.
Yeah.
The ball.
Gotta grab my ball.
Grab my ball. Oh my gosh, the outtakes when we were recording these videos. I was so nervous when I was making this because I wanted to do a good job, and I just started sweating because the light was really hot.
Hilarious. That's all she could do.
Really
She was just focusing on the sweat dripping down her face.
I know. I can't. I'm like, I can't see. The sweat is in my eye, and I can't stop to wipe the sweat away.
Nope. Gotta keep those hands in the video.
And Nicole just laughed at me.
Yep. What can I do? Sorry. I should have wiped it for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It worked out well.
It did. Next time I'll have a towel ready for us because
Yes.
I'll probably be sweating too.
I know. When you do your shell pattern, which is in a future episode.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. So anytime you see the string being pulled off to the corner there, that's Nicole.
Hey,
she's helping out. She's there.
Trying. We're our own little editing and video and everything set here. There's no other helpers. It's just me.
It's just us trying to figure it out. Okay, so it looks like I'm at the end here. I'm going to put a double crochet in that last stitch, which I think, yes, this row will end in 2 double crochets in the 3rd row.
2 of them.
So you do 2 of them at the very end there. There's my other double crochet. Whee! So do you see how there's 2 at the end there?
That's so pretty.
Then you're going to chain 1 and turn. So we're creating this really cool texture that's going to alternate. So as we chain 1 and turn, we are going to single crochet our way back. So this is going to be a very boring row. Row 5 is just single crochet.
That's my row. I could do this. That's easy.
Gives you some good confidence here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for our first episode, you chose a really ambitious crochet. I
Sorry.
let Nicole choose which crochet we're going to do, which skill she wants to learn. And so for our very first episode, she's like, let's do the Alpine Stitch. And she sent me a bunch of videos on the Alpine Stitch. Let's do this one. Teach me how to do it.
Pretty.
And I was like, well, this one's ambitious for our first one, but it's, easy enough.
But look how easily you picked it up and were able to teach me. So good job, Angela.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I love crochet.
You do, and you pick it up so fast. It's amazing. Oh, you'll hear me in one of our episodes eventually. I wanted to point this out. I call Angela Wunderkind.
Wunderkind. Yeah.
And I was like, wait, no, she's not a kid. I know. But I was just trying to relate her to how fast she picks up crocheting. She's amazing. That's my word. Amazing.
Amazing. That is your word in this podcast.
It is. Oh, you'll hear me say it
all
like
the time
20 times, everybody.
Amazing. And you're like, this is my word. Amazing.
Yep. So word of the day.
Yeah, the Black Forest in Germany is amazing.
It is.
So that was a good word to choose for this podcast.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It might be a little ominous, and there's some fun stories, but I would totally go hike that.
Yeah.
Hike it all.
Ooh, here's a good note. Make sure you single crochet into that chain at the end. The double chain at the end. So you have 30 single crochets.
So when so one way you're always doing a single, and then at the end you're doing a single, right? Or does it change every time? Because I'm not keeping up with this.
So yes, you want to make sure that when you're doing your single crochet row that you have 30 single crochets. And it's really easy to forget to single crochet into that first stitch because that chain one, when you're turning, every time you chain one, that is a turning chain, so it doesn't count as your first.
It doesn't, okay.
Right. The only thing that counts as your first stitch is that double crochet at the end. So you saw me count that to make sure. And sure enough, I had 29, and it looked like I was at the end.
Right.
But I wasn't. So I had to single crochet into that chain 2 at the very end, because that is a double crochet.
Interesting.
Yes. So now, since we started row 4 with a front post double, we're going to start row 6 with a double crochet. So if you look at the row, so it's going to alternate, right? So in row 4, we started with that front post double.
Yeah.
So in row 6, we're going to start with a regular double crochet.
Okay.
So that when we do our front post double, we're picking up the baby that was set down 2 rows before.
That makes so much sense. Okay.
So then those babies get to be picked up, and we're rescuing that baby from the corner.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then we're alternating.
Always alternating.
Always alternating. And then it makes this really cool texture where the double crochets are alternating between being brought forward and being sent to the back.
So you always have to put it back down.
Yes, always have to put it back down. So that's what we're doing here.
I did pick a hard one, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Well, it was just complicated to explain, especially on a podcast where you can't see.
Yes.
So
this is why we have this
is why we have the video tutorial, so you can see. But make sure you listen to our podcast where we talk about the Black Forest, because it is amazing, to use our word again. But we also talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. You get to know Nicole and I a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we also talk about
movie review.
So what was our first movie that we did?
Oh my gosh.
Can you remember that?
No.
It was The Conjuring.
Good job.
Yes.
I can't remember. We watched so many movies.
So. We have watched so many movies. So I'm not a huge horror movie fan.
Right.
But Nicole is.
I am the biggest. Well, I after reviewing other people's reviews of horror movies, I feel so like a little fish in a big pond. I just enjoy watching horror movies. Who can say that? How many people can say they enjoy being scared, right? So this is why we included this, because we thought it'd be really fun for Angela to watch all these movies, and for me to rewatch these movies and get our opinions out. And I'm sure you all would love to share too. That's great.
Yes, if you guys want to, because we want to promote a community feel here. We want you guys to be involved and engage with us as much as possible.
Yes.
So please comment on our social pages, but also you can always email us at theominousstitch@gmail.com.
Is that right?
I think so. I think it's just the ominous stitch.
You're
two
right.
words.
You're right.
Ominous stitch at gmail.com. So email us there, and if we don't get it, then maybe add the word podcast. No, it is the
I'm pretty
ominous
sure
stitch.
That's what it is. It's I think our social media is the
Ominous Stitch podcast. Right. Yes, that's our social media. But for email, it's just the Ominous Stitch. So we reach the end of the row here. We're going to chain one, turn around, and make sure we do 30 single crochets all the way back.
If you also do the Alpine Stitch or have done it before, please send us photos. That would be so much fun to see, and we'll love to share it if you're okay with that too.
Yes. We want to hear your stories about your experiences in the places that we talk about.
Yes.
Also, your experiences with the movies that we talk about.
Yes.
Or just anything that you want to tell us.
Anything, and we'll share. We would love that. Again, as Angela mentioned, having our community grow would be amazing.
Yes. That's our word. Amazing.
That's what I'm just going to say, amazing.
Take a stitch.
Every
time you hear Nicole say the word amazing.
Drink some coffee. We are big coffee people. I always bring coffee every time I see Angela.
Yes, so. Nicole keeps me in coffee.
And caffeine.
Yes.
Caffeinated.
Well, she's from Seattle, so she's the home at Starbucks capital of the world.
I worked at a Starbucks, not in Seattle though. That's the
that's
fun
funny.
I was like, I gotta keep my Starbucks up.
There's a Starbucks around every corner.
Everywhere.
Also, we have children. It is summertime. You may
Yes.
hear them from time to time.
Yes, we have 5 kids in this house right now.
We tell them to be quiet, but it only works for so long.
Yeah. So if you hear that in the background, apologies.
Yeah.
You probably get it though.
Looks like we're coming to the end of this one.
Go, Angela, go! Look how well she's doing this.
It.
It's amazing.
Single crochet.
You should enter like a speed crochet contest.
No, I'm
awesome.
not that fast. I need to get faster.
Oh.
Make sure you single crochet in that chain too.
Get it.
I did it. You
got it. Woo-hoo. Look how pretty that is.
And that is the Alpine Stitch.
Yay! Look how nice that
Thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank you so much. I hope you learned something. Chain 2.
Chain 2 and repeat rows 4, 5, and 6 until you reach the end. So am I going to do another row here? I think so. Oh, we can keep talking.
Woo!
We are recording the voiceover at a different time from when we recorded the
Obviously.
video.
We'll get this all down at some point, but we want to have this ready for you all. And,
we are anxious to launch this.
Yeah, and so we want you to learn this, and we'll get all our episodes out, and we'll have more videos on every crochet.
Yep. And make sure you listen to our podcast. You can check out the Ominous Stitch podcast on all of your podcast platforms. And listen to us talk about the Black Forest. We have many wonderful stories about the Black Forest that Nicole shared with us.
Yes, the ones that I could find a little bit of background to.
We have the Freischützen,
der Grossman,
the
Mummelsee,
and the Ganzenmacht.
Look at her
Right?
go.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes.
She's doing this without even notes in front of her.
I know.
As she always tells me when I love it, she used to be called the elephant because she remembered everything, and I'm the opposite, so I need her around.
I'm the opposite now. Once I had kids, my brain stopped. I can't even remember simple words like door, so I can't tell you how many ahs, and pauses we have to edit out of the podcast because I can't think of words. So funny.
Just our brains don't work at the same capacity they used to.
No, not in our 40s.
No.
Getting older. So
look at her. So are we? Oh, we're still
cruising away. Still picking up babies and putting them down. We're mamas. We know how that goes. But no, it was the Dirty Dancing reference.
Yes.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Look at her go. She's so quick.
And yes, I did get a manicure specifically to record these videos. My hands don't look like that right now. I need to go back and get it done again.
So pretty.
Because I have more videos to record.
It's funny when you see other people do crochet tutorials and how nice their nails all look.
Oh
and
my
their
gosh.
hands are
It's
beautiful.
a thing. It's a thing.
And I'm like looking down at my hands. I'm like, no, this is very opposite.
Like I'm looking at my fingers and I'm like, ooh, chunky fingers, hairy arms, lots of freckles.
I think you look great. I think this is an awesome tutorial on this Alpine Stitch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think this might be the last row that I do. We're
almost
coming to the end here. So make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Find us on whatever podcast platform you like listening to.
The Ominous Stitch Podcast.
The Ominous Stitch Podcast.
Hey, and if you want to suggest any movies or stitches that we want to see us or us talk about, please.
Yes, let us know. Engage with us. We want to get to know you as you get to know us. And here I go, single crocheting my way back.
Okay. That's what I like. As long as you have that pattern down, I think it just comes into fruition of, it's easy, right?
Yes, it's easy. It just keeps alternating back and forth.
But you gotta keep track of which row you're on, right?
Yes. Well, the good thing is that there, there is a wrong side and a right side, so you can definitely see when you flip it, and you're like, oh, there's no babies here for me to mess with, so I'm going to single crochet my way back, and then when you flip it over, you can see, you can see how the babies alternate being lifted up and being set down. And I think I'm going to show you that in just a second.
If you did this for like 3 times as long, it would be okay to still do, right?
Yes.
If you were like, if you tripled or even like quadrupled or the amount of
yes, you just need an even number.
Even number.
Yes,
okay.
Even number. So however long you want to chain. If you wanted to do a full blanket of Alpine Stitch, even number plus 1, so that's your turn, and you have an even number going back.
Got it.
Yeah.
And your plan, though, when we first started doing this, was to incorporate this into a larger blanket, correct?
Right. I was going to make 8 by 8 inch squares, and we're doing a whole series of, get that chain too. Get it. We were going to do a whole series of haunted forests and national parks.
Right.
And so I was going to do a whole bunch of nature stitches and make a whole blanket on that. Well, life happens.
Life always happens.
Feel free to make the blanket or do whatever you want with it.
That's so pretty.
There it is. That's the Alpine Stitch.
Hey.
That's the Alpine Stitch. Thank you guys so much for listening and crocheting along with us. Don't forget to check us out on our podcast, and we will talk to you soon.